how can we possibly ever remain serene in a turbulent, unpredictable, and sometimes really cruel world? A philosophical school of thought from ancient Greece may help us with that, and I'd love to share it with you. It's called Stoicism, and one of the most well-known philosophers to espouse this way of thinking was the Roman author and statesman Seneca. He was born in Spain in 4 BC and died in ancient Rome in 65 AD. And the reason we know that he was a Stoic is because he wrote lots of letters to friends in distress with sage advice based in his beliefs around Stoicism. Seneca himself had actually survived bankruptcy and exile in Corsica for 8 years. And what he dearly wanted for his friend was for him to have a reminder that the very worst is usually survivable. One of Seneca's friends was facing a big lawsuit that would potentially affect his status and his job and his ability to earn money for his family. He was absolutely petrified. So what did Seneca do to give him peace of mind in this situation? Did he offer him any hope? No. Instead, he asked him to imagine that the very worst that he thought could happen had actually happened. He asked him to get really comfortable with the idea of abject humiliation and unemployment. He told his friend to hope for what is just, but to prepare for what is unjust. And the gift he really wanted to give his friend was an understanding that he was far more capable of surviving the worst than he realised. Lastly, I'd like to share a paraphrased version of a letter that Seneca sent to his friend Marcia, who went through something that no parent should ever have to experience: the premature death of their child. Her son had been killed 3 years ago, and she remained in a state of perpetual mourning. Seneca invited his friend Marcia to imagine that they could go on a tour of the earth before her birth, so she could weigh up the terms of life and whether she was willing to accept them. She would see all of the beauty, all of the enchantment, all of the love, but she would also see all of the pain, all of the suffering, and all of the disappointments. Would she choose to step into such a world? He told her that her very existence on this planet suggested that her answer was yes. He told her that as humans we generally don't expect evil or misfortune to cross our doors, but that expectation is actually based on a wishful assessment of probabilities. So many funerals happen, and yet we never tend to dwell on our own death. Tragedy should not be unexpected, because it is possible for it to happen, because it has happened to others. Do you think that any of the concepts around Stoicism could be helpful in your life? Or do you completely disagree with Seneca? And do you feel as though hope is actually the main cornerstone of happiness? Let me know in the comments what you think.